September 13, 1971. A date written in blood and smoke. On that morning, the walls of Attica Prison echoed with screams. Gunfire cracked through the fog. And when the chaos ended, 39 men were dead. But here's the chilling question. Were they killed to restore order? Or to silence a rebellion that dared to demand human dignity? Attica wasn't just a prison. It was a pressure cooker. Imagine being locked in a 6x9 cell for 14 hours a day. One shower a week. One roll of toilet paper a month. Medical care was so poor, prisoners said even sick dogs were treated better. Food was barely edible. And guards, nearly all white, while the majority of inmates were black and Latino. Anger festered. Prisoners began reading about civil rights, about Malcolm X, about revolution. They were inspired by the movements shaking America outside the prison walls. Attica was a bomb waiting for a spark. On September 9, 1971, that spark came. A scuffle between two prisoners escalated. Guards tried to break it up, but word spread quickly. The yard filled with men hungry for change. In minutes, 1,200 prisoners overwhelmed their captors. They seized 42 guards and civilian workers, and they built barricades. But this wasn't chaos. Prisoners formed committees, made speeches, even issued a manifesto. They demanded religious freedom, decent food, medical treatment, an end to racial abuse. One prisoner declared, "We are men. We are not beasts, and we will not be driven as such." For 4 tense days, Attica wasn't a prison. It was a stage, and the whole world was watching. Reporters were allowed inside. Civil rights lawyers arrived. Even Black Panther Party leaders stood in the yard with the prisoners. The hostages were shown to the press, alive, bandaged, but treated with surprising care. Prisoners hoped this would prove they weren't monsters. But Governor Nelson Rockefeller wasn't moved. He refused to visit Attica, refused amnesty. He saw the uprising not as a cry for justice, but as a threat to be crushed. September 13th, dawn. Helicopters hovered over the yard. They dropped a choking cloud of tear gas. Blinding, burning. Then came the gunfire. Hundreds of troopers stormed Attica with rifles, pistols, and shotguns. They shot indiscriminately into the smoke. Prisoners, hostages, anyone in their path. When the shooting stopped, 39 people were dead. 29 prisoners. 10 hostages. Officials rushed to control the story. They claimed prisoners had slit hostages' throats. But autopsies revealed the truth. Every hostage was killed by police bullets. The massacre shocked the world. Photographs showed naked prisoners forced to crawl through mud, beaten with batons. Others lined up against walls at gunpoint. Families of the dead demanded answers. But Rockefeller defended his decision. He called the operation necessary. Investigations dragged on for decades. Survivors filed lawsuits. Finally, 30 years later, the state of New York paid $8 million in settlements. But no official was ever held accountable. One survivor said, "Attica will never leave me. The bullets may have missed me, but the memories never will." 50 years later, the name Attica still chills the American conscience. Was it a rebellion for justice? Or an excuse for the state to unleash terror? Why did Rockefeller refuse to step inside those walls? Why did bullets speak louder than negotiations? Attica wasn't just about prisoners. It was about power. About who gets to be heard, and who gets silence forever. The truth of Attica remains locked away, and maybe it always will.